All right, everybody, welcome. All right, everybody, welcome. I'm recording this video for class and for upload to YouTube for future classes. So, what we're working on this week basically is your midterm on the Gestalt Theory. So, um, we need to do a few things here. First off, I'm just gonna do a simple layout for your InDesign. Kind of go through that, show some of the people who don't know how to use InDesign a little bit on how to lay everything out, and I'm also going to do just a few pieces in general on the Gestalt theory, kind of maybe help everybody out a little bit. So, basically, you have a few different designs that you were supposed to do for this week. I think everybody was going a little too far on the Gestalt theory, so um, we're just going to create a few designs in general. So, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel and you're a new student, just kind of bear with me on this assignment in general. So, going to look a few things up on, let's see what the first one is that we need to go over for the Gestalt theory in general. So, hopefully this helps all the new students for as far as InDesign, and maybe you'll learn a few tricks in Illustrator. So, all right, so basically the Gestalt theory, we want to work on closure, continuation, similarity, figure ground, and proximity. Now each of these have their own little, things that we can go by. So closure's probably the first one I'll work on. Since this one only lets us work with letters, kind of makes it a little bit more challenging, especially if you don't work with the Gestalt theory a lot. Um, so basically, what I want to do here is move this over. You can't see both my screens, sorry for that, but got a nice Gestalt theory here. So if we're going to look at closure, of course, we got continuation, closure right here. Closure is a common design technique. If we read over this, technique is also associated with stencilized artwork. And you can kind of see the Panda Express logo in here. Couple few examples. There's not a lot of closure. It's kind of one of those things um, that we see a lot, but it's trying to find something to do with the letters here. So I can make something kind of well, let's see. We go up here. Gestalt theory is all about kind of almost an optical illusion, making something look like it should look um, without actually filling in the gaps, as you can see here. I want to try to make something simple, but yet still try to keep it clean for this one. Also, for my designs, I'm going to be using 12 by 12 because I'm going to be showing a 12 by 12 layout. So remember that if you need to adjust your stuff for InDesign. So let me kind of see what I want to do here. Like I said, we are kind of trying to create something that has where the viewer's perception is complete as shape. So in our case, we want them to complete viewer's perception to complete a letter. So let's see if there's anything else down here on closure that I can help you guys with. Doesn't look like it. Goes more about symmetry. Symmetry is another thing to focus on. That's really good with the Gestalt theory. So what can we do with letters here? I think what I'm gonna do with this one is kind of just do a simple kind of make the viewer fill in some text with by taking out some pieces. I think might be the easiest one on this one. Like I said, yeah, I think that would be the best, easiest way for this one. So let me open my Illustrator here. Like I said, you can kind of go off of what I'm teaching and showing you guys here, but as far as like don't straight copy what I'm doing, of course. So, all right, so we have our Illustrator up here. I'm just going to create a new, like I said, I want these to be 12 by 12 because my overall book, I'm just going to make 12 by 12 just to do something a little bit different here. So just 12 by 12 there. Create new. Things running a little slow. Like I said, I got a lot of things open here. All right, so I think this one will be best done. Let's see, what can we put? Actually, I'm just gonna let me move my tools over here so you can see. I'm just gonna create typical letters here. I'm just gonna put closure. Create this bigger. Kind of want to center it, so I'm gonna hit Control R to put my rulers up here. And since we're 12 by 12, I want to put one at 6 inches here. We'll put one at 6 inches here so we know where the center point is. So that's my center. Want to lock. I guess this doesn't really matter, but all right. So I don't know. We'll run through a few fonts, see what might work best here. Mirrored Pro is not one of my favorites. I want something. Maybe Futura could work well for this one. So let's go down here to Futura. Yeah, I think we can do some pretty cool stuff with this. All right, so again, what I'm trying to create here is kind of an optical illusion to have the viewer read closure without, the letters fully being there. So first thing I want to do is create outlines on here. This will turn it into a separate, take the letters, basically make them where I can manipulate each one. So now if I click my O, as you can see, the O is its own shape here. The C, the S. So I just want to kind of cut through some of these letters real simple. There's a few ways we can do this. I could create another point on the letter, or I can kind of just do a kind of cut through them. And I want to see if I want to make this more um, on the lines of, I don't want to make it too complex. I want to make it pretty simple, but I don't know if I want to make it more balanced or kind of crazy. I think I'm going to go pretty simple. So for the C, we can just kind of take out maybe two different parts here. So I'm gonna just kind of create a box here, as you can see. Now I'm gonna Control C and Control B this box, so I can kind of use the same shape throughout the whole thing, so it doesn't look too imbalanced. So, all right, so you can see I got the C, and we could do a simple, just create this as a white, and that'll create that, but it still doesn't make my C, its own sections here. So another simple thing we can do here, change this black to like a red color. I want to highlight and select both these. And then we can go over here to your Pathfinder. If you can't find it, it'll be in your Windows Pathfinder here. So uh, make sure this is all looking good. Okay, yep. So I'm going to select these two, and you can kind of, check through these. They kind of give their own what they do. So this one, if I wanted to combine these two, which of course I don't, this one minus the front and the back, you can check these out. I'll go ahead and do it. So as you can see, when I hit the minus, now it actually created this shape without, it actually took the line out there. So, and this is what I wanted to do. So again, if we ungroup this, now each little shape here is going to be its own little object. So, of course, we don't really want to ungroup it right now. So, just showing you guys that you can do that. So, if we really wanted to get crazy with things, we could, see how we can change each little part now. So, nice little thing to always use. So, let me go back to where it's ungrouped. So, or actually, it's grouped now. So, as you can see, I don't know if that's quite enough right now. We're still creating that illusion I want, but I'm kind of thinking I want to do some more. So I think I'm going to Control C, Control V that. I'm going to hold down Shift, as you can see here, to make sure I got this at a perfect angle. And then kind of go through the middle here. I think that would be okay. I'm going to highlight these two again and minus them. But that's not what I do. I might actually have to ungroup again because we already created, can't intersect, exclude. No, don't want to do that. All right, so I am going to have to ungroup it. So let me ungroup this. I go back down here. I want this kind of along the center line because I'm going to kind of, I don't know, I might treat each letter differently here. We'll have to see. So again, select these two, minus the front and back, and there we go. So I don't know if that's, I think that should be enough. Like I said, I can make this bigger and create a larger gap, but I think that's perfectly fine for the start of our C here. So let me make sure nobody showed up in class. No, okay. All right, so next we'll work on the L, which the L is going to be a little trickier. It's a smaller letter. Um, I could actually, no, just thinking about getting a little fancy here, but I want to keep it pretty simple for everybody. So Control C, Control V here, so I get the same constant shape here. Do kind of want to make this smaller so we can work with it here. Make it a little bit smaller. I don't want to intersect both letters per se. So I'm just going to Control C, Control V this. Now that I got it about the same, in case we want to use it somewhere else, we still got the same shape. So I kind of want to keep, on line with my C over here. So see if we can get a complete path throughout the letter here. So again, I'm just going to do what I did before, kind of, grab it here, do the same thing I did before. Let me ungroup these because now we have two different letters. So I want to see if I want to put, we don't want to take out too much of the letter, but we don't want to leave too much N. So I'm thinking about taking like this little section out here. Yeah, something like that. So you can kind of see where we're going with, but I think I actually grabbed a little bit of the letter over there, if you see. So let's zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna make this a different color. See, I went over my other letter there. Which I don't want to do. Let me change the color on this one so I can see a little better. That should be pretty close. Let's check again. I'm going to minus. There we go. So now we got a pretty simple thing going on here. Yeah, that looks good so far. So now we can work with the O. We've got quite a few possibilities with our O here. I'm going to put one here to start. Control C, Control V here. I want to make, again, I'm trying to continue this line here, so looks pretty close. Might have to grab two sections here. Yeah, might have to do this twice because they're each a different section now. So one way I can do this, I'll just do it with the little one I made here. Try to get this in the middle right there. Should be pretty close. Crap, did I not? Oh, I didn't group it. That might have an issue. Bear with me here. Alright, now let's see if it'll. No, I don't think I selected each path here. There we go. For that one, we try to make it exactly the same on this side. So I'm trying to do this pretty quickly so, we don't take up well, it's going to take a couple hours and maybe an hour or two, so this video could be fairly long if you're watching it on YouTube. So now I've kind of got my O the way I wanted. I could put a couple more as far as, if I wanted to go and put another diagonal in there, but not quite sure if that's how I want it. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. But like I said, I don't want to go too much because I want to keep everything, as far as angle wise the same. And I don't really have any other angles going, so I think I'm going to keep my O just like it is. And we're going to work on the S. The S is a pretty simple letter to cut through because we can just cut through the whole thing here. And it'll make some pretty good gaps already. So again, I'm just going to select this, cut this. And as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of our S. So pretty simple there. The U, I think the U will do kind of like the O. So we're keeping everything the same here. So I'm going to cut the U right down the middle here. Then I'm going to ungroup this. Um, and I'll honestly, that's pretty good for the U, but we'll go ahead and create our cut through here just to give it a little bit more of that optical illusion look that we're looking for. Because remember, the whole point of this theory is that the viewer will be able to put these together. And even though we took out, a good chunk of each letter, they're going to be able to still read it because that's how our mind works on this theory. So, all right, now the R is a little trickier because the R is kind of got a lot more going on. So, um, excuse me. Excuse me. So I got to figure out how I want to take out parts of the R. Almost thinking one straight down here could work. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, not too bad. Let me zoom in here. I think I might have missed. Yeah, I did. See how we got some, accidentally took too much of the part off there. So, yeah. So let me move this over a little bit. Let's try it right there. No, still got that in there. Well, let's see if I push it over here, what it looks like. Mm, I'm not really liking the way that's looking. I might just do a couple smaller cuts. Maybe one up at the top, right on its intersection right here. All right, yeah, that's good. So listen. Okay, we didn't fully cut it, so if I put one here, it's gonna look kind of goofy. Like I said, the R is, because if we put one where I want to put it to keep it aligned with the other ones, we're not actually gonna cut it perfectly. Make sure you don't grab your grid line here. Yeah, see, I don't like the way that looks. So, well, let me think here. Maybe we can create kind of a different illusion here, but I don't think so. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, see, we still got this extra freaking path here. I mean, I could put one down here. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not gonna be able to keep exactly how I wanted to do it, but we're still getting the point across here. And I'm just gonna put another one right here. Of course, like I said, I would have probably done this a few different ways, but for sake of, you know, time right now, that might take a, yeah, I gotta do this differently because it's still grouped. Not sure if this will work. Yeah, it worked. Okay, so that's still okay. We're still getting the whole concept across here. So now the E, we can kind of do a lot like the R, because if we don't, we're gonna end up taking some of the main components out here. So again, let me get this as close as I can here. I need to take it's locking to my grid, so it's being kind of a pain, but otherwise, all right. Let me take that chunk off. There we go. Actually, the E looks pretty good by itself, so that theoretically is how closure works. So as you can see, we took a large chunk out of each letter, but with the way the Gestalt theory works, our brain's going to put that together. Even if we really took a lot out of each of these letters, like we took even a bigger chunk out of it, our brains are still going to put this letter together. So that one I'm going to save. Let me create a week 4 folder here. So we'll save this as closure, of course. We're going to put it back in our. I always name them 1 in case I decide to go back and change it. And I'm going to want to export this as a JPEG. For now, we'll just say for legacy, make sure it's 100%. Save. Go back, make sure you keep all your folders in check so you know where to find your files. And we got it named how I want it. So now I can just import this straight over to InDesign when we get ready for that one. So, all right. So now that we got that done, make sure nobody's in class here. I guess I'm not sharing my screen, so in class, which is not bueno. Because it's sharing the wrong screen. So, um, basically, this video you guys are gonna have to go watch on YouTube because I'm doing everything on my big screen, so that's why I'm not sharing my screen through here. I just wanted everybody to, you can still listen to what I'm saying in here. I probably won't even save this. This was just in case somebody else came in, whatnot. So, and I can keep track on the time. So, but anyways, let's go back to what we were doing here. All right, so that was closure. I think for the sake of time and whatnot, I am going to just use, well, because it took me about 30 minutes to create that piece. So if I create closure, continuation, similarity, figure, proximity, if I create each one, that's going to take quite a bit of time. So I think for the sake of time here, we're just going to, let me see. Trying to think what I can do quickly here. And also remember when you're working with letters, you don't have to keep them, within the same size, especially with Gestalt Theory. A lot of the better ways to use the letters is to blow them up, make them big. Use everything you can. So, try to think here. I guess I could create another video if I had to. I kind of want to keep everything together for the sake of just making things easier. So I guess I can work on each little theory. Like I said, the video might, if you don't need help on one, just fast forward through the video to each section. Because we got closure done. I think I'm going to do uh, similarity maybe next. Because there's a pretty simple way we can do similarity. So since I got this one saved, actually I'm just going to create a new file here. And we keep this one 12 by 12. I'm going to do similarity. Now I'm going to use basically one letter for this one. Probably is an O. I want to kind of use it as like it would be a circle. So we're just going to use the letter O here. And like I said, similarity we can use a few different ways, colors, and shape. So this one we're actually going to be using the same size shape throughout. And then we're going to change the color a little bit. Just we're actually going to create another letter using a letter. So basically for this one, I'm basically going to create the letter T just using the letter O. Nice and simple. I'm actually going to see if I can find something that I want to use a little bit better here. I want to know that's more rounded. This one could actually work. All right. Now what? I might make this a little bit smaller because I think it'll be a little bit easier to show similarity just by using a bunch of the same ones here. So I'll try to keep these all in the same, grid line here. So I'm kind of doing this pretty quickly here. Quicker than I normally would. Save some time here. Still want to keep it pretty balanced though, so I'm going to use the same number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got a good balance here. Again, let me put my grid lines in here so I can go 6 by 6 here so I know where the center is. So what I'm going to do is grab all these for now. I'm going to group them over object group so they're all together. Get them in the center here. We've got enough room at the bottom. We'll might have to move things to create, top and bottom about the same. So what I'm gonna do now, hit Control C, Control V. We're just gonna create a bunch of these. I'll keep it centered like the rest of them. We got a pretty good gap here, so now I can Control C, Control V again. Let's get this centered first. There we go. We can already see an optical illusion, but it's not exactly what um, I'm going for right now. Just want to get all these on the page for now. So again, I'm just going to create Control C, Control V. As you can see, just starting to create a pattern off of just using these O's here. They might not be 100% perfect, but they're getting there. So it looks like I only got about room for 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. So grab this group of 5 here. Control C, Control V. Might be too much. Zoom out a little bit here. Might have to take off one. I might have to just take everything in general and make it a little bit smaller so it'll fit. Actually, I'm just going to take this top line off and delete it. And then I'm going to select everything here and just get this more centered on our page. We're not going to get it perfectly centered, top and down view anyways, but we're pretty close. So now that I got my pattern here, you can see they're all similar, same letter. Now, the simple thing now, we want to create just a simple letter T out of all this. But we're probably going to have to ungroup most of these because I want to grab certain sections of each one. So I'm just going to ungroup, ungroup, ungroup. So now I want a letter T in here. Now it kind of depends what the way I want to do the letter. Because I could do it where we change these colors. Let's use something not too crazy. Purple. It's not too, crazy. So, of course, we're going to make this all purple. I don't know. I think I grabbed too many. Yeah. I don't want it that thick. So let's go purple here. Actually, I'm going to change these two back to black. And I want the kind of same thing going on over here. Purple. All right. Now we're just going to grab all these. If you don't know, I'm just holding down Shift to select each letter. Oops, I accidentally drug that one down. So Control Z that one to undo it. Put some purple in here. All right. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I mean, theoretically, I could probably grab them all by doing this. I'll just grab these and be like, hey, hey. All right. So here's a perfect example of similarity. So basically, I created a ton of the same object over and over, and then I use color to create, you know, that illusion that we see the T, and we could actually go in if you wanted to use a different color or even fill these lines in. You could do a lot of different ways, but just for a simple way of similarity, this is what we could do. And theoretically, if you got really, into it, you could make a bunch of really small zeros or O's and create, any kind of shape you wanted, if you were good enough and had enough time. We could have made a face in here. We could have made, just about anything you could think of. But But for now, that's pretty simple. Everything's balanced. So I'm going to save this, not save a copy. I'm going to save as and go similarity here. One. And then we're going to just, again, export this. I'm just saving for legacy for now. It looks like I got an extra, or missed a zero right there. I missed one here too somehow. And here, what is going on? All right, there, that's better. Sorry. We save this again. Export it. Save for web. Similarity 1. As you see, we got closure up there already. So this would be a good example of symmetry also. So you could actually put this into similarity using symmetry because everything's 100% balanced on both sides. So, and actually, if we went and changed all this color, we might actually get, we could make another shape or even another letter over here. If we wanted to get, crazy, we could put maybe an I or maybe even like the Texas A&M. We could put the, because they usually have the T in the middle, the A on the side over here, and then the M on the other side. So, but that's pretty simple, quick. Like I said, each of these are taking quite a chunk of time up. So that one wasn't as long, but now that I got two good ones, though, we'll go ahead and get into the book for you guys. So for everybody that's new to InDesign, you're going to want to kind of pay attention here. So, all right, so I'm going to just open my InDesign. As you can see here, I want to create a new book. And we're going to make, like I said, I'm going to go 12 by 12 on this one. It's already there. And for this sake, I can probably want to do the two I made. I need a cover page. Um, and that's pretty much, I think I will do for this assignment anyways. So I'm going to do one for the similarity I created, one for the closure. Um, my other design almost fits into proximity too, so, but I won't worry about that for now. We're going to do the closure similarity. I'm going to create a spread, which spread equals 2 pages. So we're going to need 4 pages there. We need a opening page, which is 5, and then we'll need a reference page for sure. That's 6. So for you guys, you'll need probably about, like, I think about 12 pages, I think I said. So for this one right now, like I said, what do you say? 1, 4, 5. We're going to do 6 pages. So when you create this, you should see what I'm seeing right now here. And let me move this over to the screen. So you should see your pages here. If not, go Windows Pages. So you can see right here, we've got our first page, our last page, and our 2 spreads in between. So now what we're going to do here, now that we got our pages, we want to create kind of a grid that we, discussed actually this week too. So quick grid here. Make sure you go to your masters. Anything you do on your master page basically will do throughout your whole document. So a quick example here, if I drew just a box here, and we'll just use a pink one so you can see it puts it on every page. And then if we put one here, it's going to put it on the other page. So anything you do on your master's page So if you have something you want to keep constant throughout your whole document, do it on your master page. And you can create multiple masters. You can have a B master and then link it to certain pages, but that's for another day, like I said. So what I always do up here, this is where I put my grid. You know, whatever grid I want to use throughout the whole document, I put here. It just makes things easier. We can keep things in place. So you guys have been studying grids this week. So let's see which one that I can use as far as grids. I think I'm just going to use a simple grid here. Yeah, I think I'll do. So now that I kind of got what grid I wanted to do, the first thing you want to always make sure is have point 0.5 around your margins. So I go up here to layers, margins, and columns, and you should see this. You want point 0.5 top, inside, outside. This basically, we always do this in case when we send it to the printer. That gives them, most printers have their own, but point 0.5's pretty safe for any printer that, you know, we might use at home, or usually, you know, if you take it to your local printer, point 0.5 is enough room. So make sure that should pretty much, like I said, once you set it once, it's usually always comes up that way. So, and that's you see this purple box out here. Yours may be a different color if you set it a different color, but mine's always a pinkish purple. So now I'm going to create my actual grid. But you go the same one, and then you hit create guides, and you're going to get this ruler right here, or this menu. So you always want to hit preview, that way you can see what's going on back here. So this one, I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 rows. 7 rows, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. And then as you can see, it's creating it back there. It's nice and clean. It's pretty symmetrical. I'm going to go ahead and leave the gutter where it is. Right now, I usually don't work too much with gutters, but just for the sake of this assignment, we're going to go ahead and put them in there. So, all right, now as you can see, if we go to our cover page, we've got our grid on here. So for this one, if I was creating it, I definitely want my name on it. I've seen a lot of people like using images that they pretty much pulled off of Pinterest. So if I wanted more time, I definitely would have created my own Gestalt Theory here. But I want to find one that's kind of has some topography in it, maybe not a bunch. So, yeah, like I said, looking at all these, I kind of want to make my own cover page anyway. Like I said, I could sit here for hours and hours with this, and I really don't want to make this video too long. But then again, I want it to make sense for all the new students watching it. So, I think I'm actually gonna create kind of my own thing. I don't really want to take too much. So one thing that I am going to create kind of my own thing here. So I'm gonna go File, New. I want a 12 by 12. I'm gonna kind of create a cool effect that I've seen a few times that I wanted to try to recreate here using what am I looking for here? Well, crap. There we go. That's the one I want. All right, so we're gonna kind of create a cool little thing using this. I'm actually not gonna center this one. I'm actually gonna put it. It's not what I want. Control R. Get my rulers. So I'm gonna put it half an inch and then half inch right here. So I'm basically got my same margins as I do on my book. So I make sure I don't get too far out of whack here. I don't really want to center it because you guys know I hate centering, so I'm going to put it more or less about right there. Should be good. Well, I might not have. Yeah, that's good. All right, now if you look at this, we see a few things that we can kind of, the Gestalt theory is almost built right into it. Because if you look right here in this little section, let me make sure my cursor, yeah, we almost see a coffee cup. So I'm actually going to make like a coffee cigarette thing out of this using just our letters because, you know, that's pretty much what we're supposed to be doing this week. So theoretically, I could, you know, just use my normal objects, but we're going to make the coffee cup holder here with just the C right here. This is a good font to use though. We kind of want a thicker font, not that thick, because we're still making this like the handle. This one will be perfect. So again, we can do exactly what we were doing last time. And might, it might be too thick actually. We don't want to create too small of a, actually this will work fine. So as you can see what I'm accomplishing here, if I put this C here, then we got a coffee cup. So like I said, I want to kind of create that illusion even using nothing but the letters. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Oh, make sure you outline this first. Create outline. So now should create that. Should be good now. Maybe. Did I not select this? All right. Weird. It's not cutting it like I want it to. Did this not create outline? Hmm. Anyway, I'm not quite sure what the issue is here, but you can kind of see what I'm going for. So I created my coffee cup here. Now I'm going to kind of create a cigarette over here, which can be done pretty simple using the letter I, because of course, as you see, the I is, you know, pretty much just a rectangle anyway. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make this white again so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So now as you can see, it's kind of got the end of a cigarette look. If we multiply this a few times, Control C, Control V. So now we got a cigarette going. So now we got coffee and cigarettes. So I'm gonna use this as my, cover page. So I'm just not sure why I'm not able to minus this. But anyway, it's good enough because I can just, I'm just using a JPEG. I'm not pulling the whole thing over. So this gives me enough room to put the title of my book right here. And I'm going to put written by, me over here. So for this one, we're going to save as cover page. Okay. And again, we want to export this. We're saving for web right now. So that's going to look pretty cool on the cover of our page. All right. So now that that's done, I can just create this rectangle frame tool here. This is how we import our picture. So I want it 12 by 12. Should be perfect. We're going to go File, Place. And this again, make sure you remember where you put all your other images. So I got my cover page right here. It should fit perfectly in there, which it does. All right. So cool beans so far. Now what I want to do, since this is our, midterm, we want to basically just put Gestalt Theory right here. Actually, probably put it down here in this grid line. So I'm going to make me a text box right here, which is on the text tool. So I'm going to create this right here. And I'm just going to put Gestalt Theory. What's the name of the actual assignment? Let me pull that up real quick. I got a million windows open on my other screen, so bear with me. Where gotta find the assignment. Where is my login? There it is. So for this one, since we're in advanced topography and design, I don't really want to worry about that. This actual assignment is named. Yeah, pretty much. We'll just put Gestalt principles instead of theory. So, all right. So I got that in there, but I kind of wanted this all caps. So I'm just gonna go up here to change case to uppercase. I don't want to use this font. I want to use something like, uh, probably, we'll go with Helvetica on this one. Can't go wrong with Helvetica. I don't want an ultralight. I probably, Roman. Yeah, I think I'll just go with Roman on this one. Of course, it's too small right now, so we'll just go up here to our text box. Let's see what 36. All right, 36 looks pretty good. I'm just going to put a little space between the letters. So we'll just go right there. Not too much. So Gestalt principle. So that's fine. We can kind of zoom in here. You can also hit Control and your plus sign or Control minus sign that moves in and out. All right. So now I want to create this. I don't want by Craig Ferguson, but I want to create some hierarchy here. So we're gonna definitely move this down probably about 18. And then we want 22 in between here, 36. We want this. You always want 4 points difference in between here, so that should be fine there. 40 might be too much. This should be 22. No, that's gonna be all right. And I actually might want to go ahead and put this on the bottom grid here. Just create a little bit more balance here. So now I want to. So that should be pretty good there. Could put some color if I really wanted to, but not going to here. So all right, so that's basically my cover page. I'm good. Could get a little bit more crazy with it with a little bit more time. So now basically what we want to do is create this one we'll do first. We'll do what do we want to do first here? We'll put closure first. So basically what I would do is create a header, which I'm going to put up here. I'm going to keep it about the same size as this right here. So I'm going to put all my headers at 36. So you can see I already got this. And we're working on closure. So I'll put closure principle here. So that gets my header all done. Now what I want to do is explain down here what the closure principle is. So um, this I'm just going to pull off the internet real quick. Of course, everybody should be, making their own things, of course. So don't copy and paste like I'm doing. But if you do, for whatever reason, someday, I'm doing this just to save time. Make sure to give credit to, wherever you got the information from. So I might just pull it off of here. Since I'm talking about closure, actually, we could almost create a whole page about what is the Gestalt Theory. Um, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. You guys probably have heard that before, but that's. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get too fancy right now. We'll just put what closure is. So I'm going to create another text box down here. We're going to kind of keep it at the bottom here. So this would be what's called a subhead. Let me zoom in so you can see it. So for here, I'm going to put probably like closure definition. Make sure you guys always spell check your page too. You can go up here to type. It should be in here. Or maybe in layout. Spell check. Spelling right here. Check spelling. Because apparently I can't. Oh, I don't know how to spell definition, apparently. So we'll change that. Again, that's why we spell check. So for all these, my subheads, I'm going to make them 14. Let me put 18 here. Put a little bit of space in between here just to get it out. Okay. So now that I got my head done, my subhead, I'm going to put, actually I need more information here on closure. Gestalt Theory closure. So now we're just gonna put, a couple, try to fill this up as much as we can. The more information we give our reader, the better. So don't ever think too much information is, you can never have too much information. Remember that. Because, like I said, we want information. We want information. Just keep putting information in here. You can never have too much information. Of course, the internet is not full of Gestalt information, right? Sadly, yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right, so this is what I got going so far. I'm gonna add some more information. Of course, a few rules to remember when you're laying out text. You never want more than 15 words uh, per sentence. So theoretically, um, right now we could probably put this into columns. So I think that's probably the best way to go here. So we're gonna right click this, go to text frame options. You're gonna get this box here. We're gonna put 2. So as you can see, it created 2 columns here. You want our gutter to match our other gutter. So most likely we'll adjust this a little bit so we can create the same as we did last time. So we're going to move this over so we kind of match. See how it matches our grid line now? So we're exactly on our grids. All right, so now that we got this, I'm going to break this down into at least 2 sentences. So as you can see though, oh crap, we definitely got to change this. We're going to put this one back to Helvetica, Roman. So we match this right here. Um, Now right here for text box or our actual text on the page, I'm going to go with something that pairs pretty good with, it should pair pretty good. We could do like Adobe Caramel maybe. Um, I don't know, Bedoni. I don't think that'll match pretty. Let's see. Of course, again, never use any kind of decorative fonts in here. I think I'm looking for Jansen. Jansen's usually a pretty legible text. Yeah, Jansen. All right. Again, we'll keep it at Roman. Now your text bar or your text that is in your readable text right here. We always want it 8 to 10. I know people try to make it bigger to fill up more space, but we don't want to do that. So again, make sure you have 14 in here. We have 10, 14, and we've got 40, which that's fine. Probably actually drop this down to about 20. All right, so you can see now we started our text box. We still got a lot of room we could probably fill in here. So we got kind of an odd looking thing going on here that I don't like. Sometimes InDesign likes to put this extra box in here unless you go in here and hit the back return. But we've got too much space. I want to actually put some space in between here. So you should have an option over here. You can see this left indent, right indent, space before, space after. I want space after. So this is actually going to put a little bit of space, as you can see, between my subhead and my text here. So put a that should be good enough. Now you want also a little bit in between each of your paragraphs. Not as much, so we're just going to put, a little bit. That should be enough. There's a couple ways and rules of doing this, but for sake of this assignment, that's nice and simple. So I want to find a little bit more information on closure to put in here. So again, put another, again, make sure we have this with the same amount so we have the exact same space in between here. I don't like this the way this is set up, so I'm going to change this. Excuse me. So make sure one thing too, always have everything flush left. Right here, as you can see, align left. And you can even go in here and make sure that you have your space in between throughout the whole thing. So, all right. I still think I want a little bit more information. So we can push it at least down to the next page. Again, put my space in between here. I mean, this is filling up the page pretty nicely, but as you can see, we still have a lot of negative space over here. So what I can actually do here, maybe create an illusion a little bit. Put this up a little more. That might be fine. So it's got a lot of negative space I'm not real fond of, but it's still good. So, all right, so that's basically pretty simple. We didn't even really need to create the two columns, but um, theoretically, I would have put probably a lot more information across here to at least fill this up. So, right now, since I created my closure already, we're going to just put that on the other side here. So we want place, closure image I did, should put it right there in the middle. And if you ever want to check your preview, just hit here. So now if we zoom out, we can kind of see our book's coming together pretty nicely. We've got good hierarchy here. I don't see any widows. I don't see any double hyphenations. I don't see any rags going on. So this would be a perfect layout for you guys, for the new, you know, newer students to InDesign anyway. So then basically that we got one page done. You can just basically copy and paste this because we're going to use the same setup anyway on the next page. So as you can see, copy the whole thing, and then we can just put it right back on our grid line, and boom, and that's done. So now that we're working with, what was the next one I did? We can actually go ahead and put our image we created over here. So file, place. All right, working with similarity now. So we're just gonna change this to similarity principle. Change this to similarity definition. And we're gonna find a few definitions on similarity. And then we're gonna just basically replace our text since we've already got our box there. So we'll put the definition here. Zoom in a little bit here. We've got that crazy box in there I don't like. There we go. Always watch that. So let's get a little bit more on the definition of similarity. Again, you'll do this for all of them. And always make sure there's at least 3 sentences in a paragraph. That is very important. Okay, so we got that one done. Of course, we need to find some more information on the law of similarity. Like I said, I'm kind of shocked that there's not more stuff going on here as far as information we can find on similarity. Kind of shocked, but all right. So we can do this right here. I'm probably gonna have to mess with this a bit. Yeah. And again, I want space between 1.25. That's good. 0.125. Okay. Another. And always when you hyphenate, make sure there's at least 3 letters before the hyphenation. You can fix that real quick by going up here and just fixing your. Well, we might have to grab more than that. There we go. We almost created a rag though. This in general is not something I'm liking, so that's better. But again, I gotta fix this one now. Jaw. This happens a lot when you copy and paste text in general. You've got to watch because see how this is a rag. See how these jarred in real quickly. And again, because this happens a lot when we copy and paste text. See, I don't like how there's all these. There's a period, comma, period right there. I don't like the way this looks. But we don't want to go too far out with this. I think there's actually, yeah, there was. See, there was an actual back return in there. That's why I was looking so goofy. Okay, now we can go fix this correctly. And here's a good example of a double hyphenation. We have 2 consecutive sentences with a hyphenation here and a hyphenation here. This is called double hyphenation. We don't ever want to see this. That is a no-no in the typography world, so we'll just fix that. All right, there we go. Like I said, Similarity has a few different versions, but again, still kind of shocked that I can't find more about Similarity. Of course, I could check our textbook too. But for now, we're just going to leave it like this. Like I said, I'm trying to create a quick tutorial. So again, definition, I've got my nice little, image that I created. Now on this last page, we're going to create a reference page. Again, you can put the header up here. You can kind of create it down here. So references. And then of course all you have to do is put your references down there. And that's pretty much it for creating your document. Of course, make sure you save it. So I'm gonna put my midterm 1. And then when we export it, all you gotta do is make sure you hit File, Export. Again, make sure you know where you're putting it. Midterm. Export it as a Adobe PDF Interactive. Now when you hit save, you're gonna get this other box. You wanna make sure you save all pages and make sure it's set to spreads. Not pages, but spreads. And then what we do is hit export and we'll get this nice PDF version that you can upload. Make sure you double check your spelling, make sure everything looks nice and clean. And that will pretty much complete your midterm after you finish the other principles, of course. But that should help everybody that's new to InDesign and maybe new to Illustrator for now. I'll make some more videos later, but for now, this is Professor Craig Ferguson, and this lecture and video tutorial is over. So thanks everybody.